Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. We're bringing unique insight and analysis behind your favorite teams at the collegiate and professional levels. I'm your host, Chase Johns. Got Brady to the right. What's up?
Not much, not too much. Just a little tired, but we're gonna get through this. We're excited to another day of football. This fine weekend, September 17th to 18th weekend. Ready
Yep,
ready to get going.
most definitely ready to talk some NFL football and all. Matt's not on because he said in his particular words he had an allergic to Brady's fucking dog. So
Allergic reaction.
yeah, so he had an allergic reaction to the dog. He's not on, and I think it's best he's not on today. He'll be back on Tuesday, so
We'll
so
be
don't
back.
worry. Matt's picks and all that. It'll
It'll be
all
back.
be back Tuesday. Yep, don't worry. So, we're not gonna waste a whole lot of time. We talk about Thursday night's game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. The Chargers ended up losing that game 27-24 to the Chiefs. What'd you see in that game, Brady?
That was a really good game. It looked like for a while that the Chargers might pull that one out against the Chiefs. Um, and I thought both quarterbacks, it was a good quarterback matchup. I thought they both played well for the most part. And I thought it was entertaining, especially a nice way to kick off this week 2 of the NFL. Um, and I thought Mike Williams had a great game, obviously, with Keenan Allen not playing.
Yep.
And both teams are really good for sure.
Yep. Justin Herbert was 33 for 48, 334, 3 touchdowns, and interception. You saw he had the rib injury that he suffered later on in the game, but he still kept standing in the pocket and making some unbelievable throws down the stretch. So, Herbert, Mahomes, they're both, the face of the league, future of the league as well. Mike Williams, 8 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. And then Patty Mahomes had a good game himself, 235 and 2 touchdowns, a very clean football game from him. Justin Herbert's one interception, though, that damn near cost him the game. I mean, it was a 99-yard pick six, that really set off the rest of set the rest of the tone for the game because, the Chargers were up by 10 in the third quarter. They had all the momentum, but they weren't able to finish it out. It was just another way that they, as people will call it, they chargered their way out of it. So there you go. But that was a very good game, really good game to start off the campaign of Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, which is, very, very unique to say the least. But, that was Thursday. This is Sunday. And we'll start off with the first game, the Miami Dolphins, who are 1-0, led by new head coach Mike McDaniel, who beat Bill Belichick in his first career game as a coach, taking on the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh. This is a good game, 1:00 at M&T Bank Stadium. What do you see in this one?
Man, I see a very, very – I'd say this might be an underrated game, with the Dolphins, somewhat high-powered offense versus the Ravens. Also a very electric offense when they can get going. Definitely, going to keep an eye out on this one. And I'm excited to see Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews and all those guys get to work. I'm not sure if J.K. Dobbins is playing. I don't know if you know either.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think he's listed as questionable still right now. The inactives list come out in about 27 minutes at 11:30. So we'll find out. We'll find out maybe toward the end of the show what's going on. But yeah, I look at this game though, the Dolphins kind of changed things around. Tua had a really good week last week, 23 for 33, 270 and a touchdown. So he had a very efficient week. And then obviously Tyreek Hill, the addition of him, 8 for 94 against Patriots last week. So they look good. Lamar Jackson, he looked real good too. Had 3 touchdown passes. They just trying to find some stuff. And I didn't know this, but Kenyon Drake plays for the Ravens now.
I did not know that Kenyon Drake played for the Ravens.
Yeah, he got dropped by the Raiders, and he's over there in Baltimore doing his thing. I had no idea actually. I haven't watched it. I didn't watch the Ravens game last week, but
I didn't either.
Yeah, but what I will say, I'll give my pick right now. I got the Ravens winning this one. I think they're a really good September team, really good team at the start of the season. I think Miami. When they come away from this game, so I think they're a good football team. I think they're just going to have to retool some things Obviously it's an early season matchup. This is a good test to see where they are. And I think Baltimore is really going to be hitting on all cylinders when it comes to offensively with Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson getting his footing back from missing a lot of the games last year. And I think the Ravens defense is going to be fine. It's going to cause some havoc for Tua. So I got the Ravens in this.
Yeah, I also have the Ravens in this one, especially since it's at Baltimore. I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's a blowout, but yeah, they've been good in September the past few years, and I would take the Ravens as well.
Most definitely. So we both agree on that. I think this next game we'll agree on too. The New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns at 1 o'clock on CBS. The Jets last week, obviously they played the Ravens. They had a tough go. The defense didn't look too bad, honestly. But it's going to be interesting to see what they got. Joe Flacco going around his AFC North revenge tour. Played his former team last week. The result did not bode well. Playing the Browns this week, a team that he had success against for many, many years, and see if he can try to get success, have more success today against him. But Cleveland, man, I look at the Browns. I didn't really get a chance to watch their game last week, but Jacoby Brissett, he looked okay. I mean, 18 for 34, 147 and a touchdown. But I tell you, one person who looked really good was Nick Chubb, 22 carries, 141 yards, and then they really involved Kareem Hunt in the passing game as well. Caught a touchdown last week, but I look at this game. I got the Browns winning this one. I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. I think it'll be slow paced. I think the Browns are going to really control the clock right from the get go. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be like a 7 to 10 point game. But I still got the Browns coming out and having their first 2-0 start in Lord knows how long.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Browns win this one as well. Like you said, I don't think it's a blowout, but I do think the Browns win it like handily in the sense that it's like a 1 or 2 touchdown at most win. But I do think Brissett missed some passes that I saw last week that he needs to hit, but I think if he can connect on those and they can continue to run the ball, then pressure Joe Flacco, who really can't really move anymore. I think they should be able to win this one for sure.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be just fine when it comes to that sense. So we'll see how the Browns are able to fare this Sunday. And then the next game we got Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions, 1 o'clock on Fox. The Commanders beat the Jags last week. Carson Wentz had 4 touchdown passes, so that's something to keep an eye on. His first game as a Commander. Really took the offense into command. If you want to play words on that. And Detroit, they took on Philadelphia last week. They came up on the short end of the stick. Jared Goff didn't have too bad of a game. DeAndre Swift had a fantastic game, 15 carries for 144 yards and a touchdown. So both of these teams, I will say, they use their running backs a lot whether it comes to running the football or even out of the backfield when it comes to passing. So what do you expect? Who's going to win this game?
Man, I think this will be a very good game. I think the line is even.
Yep, it is.
It's an even line, so it's a pick'em game. So it's definitely a really good game. Personally, I think I'm going to go with Detroit in this one, in a really close one, maybe a 3 to 7 point game. I think Jared Goff has a solid night throwing the ball downfield. T.J. Hawkinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. It's a very, very solid offense, and the O-line is good. But I do think there's some points scored in this one. I'm not going to give an exact amount, but I think both teams score a decent amount of points. I think the Lions come up on the good end on this one.
Yep, I agree with you there. I think their good fortunes will come to fruition today. I think the Detroit Lions are going to beat the Commanders. It's the first time. Actually, before the line became even, this was the first time Detroit was favored in a football game in nearly 2 years. So I think they're going to kind of take that into heart. I think Jared Goff's going to play a good game. They're going to get everybody involved. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's going to have about 9 or 10 catches today. I think he's going to have a really big PPR day, especially for all you fantasy lovers out there. But I do think the Lions are going to win. I agree with Brady on that. The next game, though, I don't know. This is a very interesting look for this. Colts 0-1, Jaguars 0-1, but everyone knows the stat and also last year's result. The Jags beat the Colts last year to take them out of the playoffs and put the Steelers into the playoffs, inserted them
Yep.
in with the Steelers winning against the Baltimore Ravens. The Colts have not beaten the Jaguars in Jacksonville since the year of 2014, the year the Colts were in the AFC Championship game. They haven't had any luck down there in Duval County. Do they have luck today, Brady?
I do think they have luck today, because I think they'll have a better day, and more. I think they'll find their rhythm more, and I think their defense will just be able to stop them. Will be the key. I don't think this is a very high scoring game. I didn't really see much from Trevor Lawrence last week, to be honest with you. Did you see that speech he gave?
Yeah, that was not really motivating. I would just say, yeah, okay, let's go play football. Like,
that
monotone,
was
very monotone. I say.
Very monotone. But yeah, I think I'm going to take the Colts in this one.
Okay, yeah, and honestly, Trevor Lawrence, he might not be the rah-rah guy, and everybody doesn't need that. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, like, you good? Like,
it was weird that he wasn't a little more excited for that. It seemed like,
it's week 1 NFL season. You got a new chance, and you got a new head coach that actually is not, the whole story back there. But but I, think about this. I'm a guy that likes to go with the trends, and we'll talk about trends later. But I'm a guy that likes to go with the trends. I'm gonna roll with Jacksonville. I think that they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win off a game-winning field goal. Actually, it's gonna be a really low-scoring game, like you said. I agree, but I think Jacksonville's gonna somehow find a way to win this, and it's going to be one of the wackiest ways we've seen in a minute. So I'll take the Jaguars in this one, and then we'll get to probably the best 1 o'clock game of the day. Actually, not probably. This is the best 1 o'clock game of the day. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints. There's a lot of star power in this game. Think about it. Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans. I got to see if Chris Godwin's playing. Then you got Julio Jones. And then on the Saints side of the ball, you got Jameis Winston. You got Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry. Taysom Hill, if you want to throw him in there. There's a lot of star power coming into this game. And obviously another trend that's been going on is that the Saints beat Tom Brady's Bucs. Tom Brady hasn't beaten the Saints in the regular season when he's been the Bucs starting quarterback. So they've had his number with that. Are they going to have his number today?
I'm going to go with yes. I think they win it again. I think the Saints offense has a good day. They definitely have a high-powered offense. Jarvis Landry had a great game last week. Yep. Same with Michael Thomas. Chris Olave, whenever he was targeted, made a big plays and had a huge 2-point conversion. And then I think Jameis Winston, once he settles in and all that, he's also a very solid quarterback. But I also think the Bucs, they've had some issues with Tom Brady, like not coming to practice. Feels like he's had some issues in his personal life lately. Yep. That might be a distraction. Usually, we'll see if Mike Evans can go and make some plays today against the Saints. He usually does not play too well against the Saints most of the time. Mm-hmm. Chris Godwin, is he playing this week? Because I know he missed some practice.
Yeah, he actually left the Cowboys game a bit early last Sunday night. So still trying to get word on if he's playing. The inactive list now comes out in about 15 minutes. So
right.
So we'll definitely keep an eye on a couple of these guys. Yep. He is questionable right now. So yeah, and the way that I take it, I'm going to agree with you. I think the Saints get the victory. I think Jameis Winston is going to play a really good game.
Yeah.
Go on ahead and look at it. I think he's going to get Jarvis Landry involved as well. It's really going to open up the outsides for Michael Thomas to get his work done. And I think I think Chris Olave is going to have a little deja vu moment, and I think he's going to catch a deep post for a touchdown today. I think it's not going to be like a Justin Fields type play, but I think they're going to take a shot or two downfield and try to test this Bucs secondary when they're focused on Alvin Kamara out of the backfield and all. So I will agree. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game, and like you said, Tom Brady's had some issues going off the field, and maybe it might be. I'm not going to say it might be a little too much, but especially early in the season, I don't know if the Bucs are really going to be able to withstand some of that stuff going on. But, we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, I'm going to agree with you on the Saints. The next game, though, Panthers-Giants. So the Panthers and Baker Mayfield's revenge game against the Cleveland Browns did not go as well. It was going as planned until Cade York hit the game-winning field goal from 55 plus. I think it was 58-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And then the Giants, I mean, that was a shocker last week. I mean, we don't really have – I don't have super high expectations for the Tennessee Titans this year. I still have them winning 9 games, but they just go in there. Brian Dable in his first ever game as NFL head coach just goes in there and they beat the Tennessee Titans, who were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. The New York Giants, who I've talked a lot of shit about on this show when I've had a chance to talk shit about them. And they're 1-0, and they got a really good shot to start off 2-0. What'd you say?
Yeah, I think they got a really good shot as well to start off 2-0, just like you. I think Saquon Barkley found his footing a little bit again after the injuries, the little injury spurt he went on. He looked explosive. He kind of looked like, Saquon back when he was like, I don't know, I think it was, what was it, his second year was maybe his best year, or was it his rookie?
I'd say rookie year is pretty good.
Rookie year too.
18 or 19, I would say.
Yeah, just that time period in general. Just he's kind of getting back to that his old self. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he went number 2 in the draft, which is insane for a running back. So you got to be able to back that up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really like this game in terms of seeing what the Giants can really do and seeing if the Panthers can kind of bounce back from that week 1 loss to the Browns.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is also another game that has a spread that is even. So very interesting to see how that will play out. How I think it will play out, I think the Giants are going to win this game by about 7 points. I think it'll be one of those unorthodox games again. But I think Daniel Jones is actually gonna have a pretty decent day today. He was 17 for 21, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception last week. Coupled with Saquon Barkley's 18 for 164 and a touchdown. So he did just enough to win the game and didn't, he didn't lose the game last week. He didn't make many plays that would lose the team a game. So I'm gonna go with the Giants in this one. What do you got?
I also am going to go with the Giants in this one. I think it's a solidly close game as well. I'm not extremely confident in this, but I think the Giants win it. And I think Saquon has another nice game. And I think that Daniel Jones, I don't think he's the worst quarterback in the NFL, but he's definitely not towards the top either.
Not one bit. He's definitely toward the bottom.
He's towards the bottom.
There's a lot of guys at the bottom of the barrel, so it just depends on where he stacks up. I will say they declined his 5th-year option, so he's literally playing for his life this year in the NFC least. Who anyone can win the division, I will say. I mean, the Eagles obviously are the front runner, but we've seen crazier things happen. We've seen a team that went 7-9 and won the division. So who knows? It might happen, it might not. But then the next game, though. New England Patriots, Pittsburgh Steelers. New England came off the loss against the Miami Dolphins. They just did not look good. Pittsburgh came off the impressive win over the Cincinnati Bengals, but, we talked about that on the show a little bit. What do you think's going to happen?
I think this will be a good game. Usually the Steelers don't get blown out, and they also usually don't blow teams out either. It's usually always tight matchup either way. So I think same way with this game. Shouldn't be any different. This time Steelers are at home. Without TJ Watt, a little annoying not to see that. It's always nice to have him in your back pocket on 3rd and 9 when you need to pressure on the quarterback. But, I still think the Steelers win this game. Really close game. I'm gonna go 3-point win.
Yeah, and I would normally say the same thing. I would think Pittsburgh would win this game, but I'm actually going to go to opposition. I think New England. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. I think this is not me being salty. This is just me saying I think it's just going. I think it's just going to be a low scoring game. I think New England's going to have the ball last, and I feel like they're going to hit a game-winning field goal. So I have New England by 3. Obviously, exercising some of the demons from Pittsburgh. So, I'm obviously like, that still stings from last week, but you live, you learn, you move on. I'm a fan. I'm not a player. So, it's not the biggest of my worries, but I got the Patriots by 3, got the Steelers by 3. This one, I think we're going to agree on. Atlanta Falcons, Los Angeles Rams. Both teams are 0-1, but And also I will say the Falcons though did play a way better game than the Rams did play this past week. I know
They
the
did.
Rams were playing the Bills and the Falcons were playing the Saints. You would think that those scores would have been flopped in their respective games, but
You would have.
I think we both know that, Sean McVay, this is the first time Sean McVay's ever had a losing record in any point of a season. This is his 6th year as a coach.
Yep.
They're getting back to 500.
They will.
They're putting up 30 points today. I got Rams.
Yeah, I also got the Rams. I think, Matt Stafford has a bounce back game. I think Cooper Kupp says what's up. And has a solid game today. Maybe Allen Robinson could make a catch or two.
Yeah, maybe.
And we'll see what happens here. But the Falcons with I believe they have the 9th best rookie receiver on their team, so we'll see what he can do. And then Kyle Pitts obviously is a great player, so we'll see. But I definitely have the Rams and I'm going to go a 2-touchdown game here actually.
Gotcha. So you got Cooper Kupp saying what's up, but in this game, Michael Gallup ain't going to be playing in this one. So, receiving core's down.
No Michael Gallup.
The Bengals receiving core's now up a little bit. You got T. Higgins coming back, barring anything crazy happening before the game. If you guys want to check this one out, me, my dad, my brother did an entire episode about the Bengals Cowboys preview, which will be out on YouTube in just a little bit. But in this game, Bengals Cowboys, I mean, I don't want to say must-win games happen in week 2 of the National Football League, but it is happening right now. You look at the differences between starting off 2-0, 1-1, and 0-2. The percent chances of making the playoffs are crazy from 1-1 to 0-2. It's a completely different ballgame when you look at it. Both of these teams are 0-1. They're both trying to, they're both former division winners from last year. The Bengals made the Super Bowl, and they're trying to get back into it. The Bengals had 450 plus yards of offense last week, 5 turnovers and 7 sacks, and literally came down to a bad kicker and a bad snap, So I think Cincinnati's there. Dallas obviously has a lot more issues that it looks like with their quarterback out, and they have some offensive line problems. They don't have a problem. Well, actually, their one player is a problem, Micah Parsons. He's a problem for other teams. Number 11, Micah Parsons. That dude's insane. So you got both the offensive and defensive rookie of the year playing against each other at 4:25 on CBS. Nance Romo on the call. I think the Bengals are going to have they're going to have a big motive today to come out and be like, we can't turn the football over. That's just the keys to the game. You can check that out as well. I got the Bengals in this one. I think they are going to bounce back. I will say 2 weird stats though. Zach Taylor 1-5 against backup quarterbacks in his career. Not a good stat. Not a good look. And the Bengals have not beaten the Dallas Cowboys since 2004. Haven't beaten the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas since 1988. But trends are made to be broken, and I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals will win today. And I hope that I will be happy by the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's much of a doubt to me that the Bengals will win this game. Those stats are a little bit alarming, but I think they kind of they're focused and they're wanting to bounce back and stuff. So I don't think I don't think they lose this game to the Cowboys. Also with Dak Prescott being out, we'll see what Cooper Rush can do. But I think the Bengals have a big day on offense as well. I think Jamar, Trayvon Diggs is not great at holding people to little amounts of yards, but he is good at intercepting the ball. So even if he gets an interception, I still think Jamar will probably be over 100 for sure this game. And I think T. Higgins could have a big day as well when he's matched up against Trayvon in terms of just Trayvon trying to be too cute, you could say, and try to focus more on focus on catching the ball rather than actually staying with your man. So I think the Bengals offense have a big day and win this game by 10-point win.
Yeah, I'd say the Dallas Cowboys defense is very opportunistic when it comes to making turnovers on the football. So that's going to be interesting to see. They're probably going to play a lot of too high look for Cincinnati so they can take away any of the deep shots. But even, look at Joe Burrow in an interview. He even said, hey, I want to get the ball to Jamar Chase even more. He was targeted 16 times last week and had 10 catches. Granted, T. Higgins was out, for 3/4 of the game. But still, he wants to get him the ball more. So, we'll see what happens with that.
So
with the game. This is going to be interesting. I'll definitely be on the edge of my seat for that one. Another game, you got the Seahawks and the 49ers. The Seahawks 1-0 and the Niners 0-1. You would have thought that they'd be swapped coming into this one. Apparently, this game's going to have a lot of rain. Trey Lance is probably shaking his head right now. His home opener, and maybe a monsoon again. I don't know if it's going to be a Chicago Monsters of the Midway monsoon, but oh boy, what do you think's going to happen in this game? It's a divisional rivalry. It's week 2, early in the year. What do you think's going to go on?
I think the Niners win this one. I think the Seahawks, they're coming off of a high from last week against the Broncos. So obviously that was nice to see. Nice to see Geno Smith looking good. But this is a team people are talking about, potentially having first overall pick next year and being the worst team in the league. So, And they're playing at the Niners, who are a top 10 team in the league, arguably. So, this is going to be a tough game. I definitely think the Niners win. I don't think this is going to be a monsoon, so I think the Niners offense should be able to move it better than last week, you would assume. Trey Lance probably has a better game. Debo, get him involved, and get pressure on the quarterback. Fred Warner back at linebacker, Nick Bosa, all those guys having big days. I think the Niners win this one, and I don't think it's much of a doubt, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Niners are favored by 9. They might be getting George Kittle back. I think they're going to be reassembling all the pieces that they had last year and having a different quarterback. I think the Niners are going to win this game pretty handily overall. And going back to a comment before I go back to the Texans and the Broncos game, going back to a comment, Joe Mixon, I need a big game. I want him to win the rushing side, 11th in rushing, but he needs 88 yards to catch up. That's a key. That's a key to success, though. Setting the line of scrimmage in that game. Don't give up sacks. Establish the run. Stop the run for the Cowboys, and I think Cincinnati's going to be fine, especially if they turn the ball over. That's one thing that is uncharacteristic for that offense. All right, Houston, Denver, 0-1 versus 0-1. This is Russell Wilson's home debut as a Denver Bronco, taking on the Texans, who blew a 17-point lead, but ended up resulting in a tie against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm just going to straight up say it's the Broncos. I mean, the Texans, the people see the Texans as a sneaky team here or there, but I really think they're one of the worst teams in football. So I got the Denver Broncos winning this one. I think Russell Wilson had a really good day last week for nearly 350 yards. It was just the fact that the Broncos they just couldn't finish drives. They were literally inside the 5 and fumbled. Yep. Both their running backs fumbled at the 1 and 2 yard line last week. And, that game definitely could have been out of reach. But I got the Denver Broncos winning this.
Yep, I agree. I really think you kind of have to pick the Broncos in this one. It's just, at Denver, Russell Wilson making his home debut. And I think he played pretty good last week. They just couldn't really finish drives. I'm taking the Broncos in this one by, what's the spread in this one?
The spread in this one, it looks as though it is Denver by 10.
Ooh.
That's a pretty big spread. I think Houston, though. I mean, I think they could give it a game, though. You look in the comments, Dre saying Davis Mills better than Russell Wilson. Yeah. Davis Mills really isn't that bad of a quarterback, though. I mean, we're not.
No, he's not.
Can't sleep on him like that. I will say that definitely could be a sleeper. If people are trying to pick that game, that's a really big line. Denver by 10. Wow. Okay. So I think we both agree on Denver winning this, but I mean,
we do.
Keep an eye on that. And I will say it's another sneaky 4:00 game. Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. This one, Arizona last week, the Chiefs put them to bed. They put them to rest.
They did. Right? They did. They killed them.
But, I mean, coming back, the Raiders defense isn't all that great. I know they have, some fantastic pass rushers when it comes to Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. But this one could this could be a sneaky game when it comes to scoring. I think the spread's Vegas by 5.5. The over-under is 51.5. I'm taking the over all day. I think this is going to be
I'm taking the over.
Mm-hmm. But I will say Devontae Adams' first game in Las Vegas. I think he's going to put on a show, and I have the Raiders winning this one.
Yeah, I agree. I actually have the Raiders winning this one as well. They've got my number one receiver in the NFL, if you want to.
It's everyone's number one receiver.
Yeah, most people's number one. There's some people will say, Cooper Kupp, Justin
That's
Jefferson,
true.
or Chase
Yeah.
or whatever. You could argue that, but personally,
That's
I would probably put Devontae there right now, and I think he has a huge night against the Card. I think he has a huge game. I think he proves that it wasn't a horrible decision to go to the Raiders, because I think Derek Carr is a good enough quarter. Like Derek Carr is good. He's gonna get the ball to Devontae Adams. He's gonna get the ball to his weapons like Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. And I think it's a high-scoring game, and there's no way it's not a high-scoring game to me. But I do think the Raiders ended up winning this one.
Yep. I think both teams are scoring in the 30s, I believe. I think both teams are really going to get up that high. I would, if you're betting, I would smash the over on this one. So, I mean, Raiders coming out on top is the prediction here. This one, Sunday Night Football. Bears are 1-0, Packers 0-1. This is unfamiliar territory.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers telling everybody, from 2014, telling everybody to RELAX. I don't know if you should relax if you're the Green Bay Packers. I know it was the Vikings look like a very good football team. I think a bunch of us picked them to win the division this coming up year. I'm going to give it to you. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think the Packers win this one. There's really not. Like, I can't pick the Bears at Lambeau. Like, I just don't know. I just don't see a scenario what the Bears could do to win this game other than, make a lot of big explosive. I don't know if they can drive down the field with the weapons they have. Like Darnell Mooney versus Jair Alexander, most likely, and then the rest, it's like Dante Pettis, Equanimeous St. Brown. I just don't know if the Bears have the offensive power to put up enough points to beat the Packers. And I think Aaron Rodgers has a bounce back game. He's always had the Bears number. Packers win this one by like 14.
Yep. And I will say, both games last year, the Packers beat the Bears by 10, and the Packers beat the Bears in December by 15.
Yep.
Chicago did put up 30 points, though. So I will say they do. It seems like Chicago, they get some type of fire that comes out when they play the Green Bay Packers, even when the Green Bay Packers are obviously the better team. Green Bay's won 6 in a row. Chicago hasn't beaten them since they made the playoffs in 2018 when they only won by 7. They lost 6 in a row, followed by that again. And they haven't beaten Green Bay in Lambeau since Thanksgiving of 2015. Is that going to happen tonight? No, it's not going to happen. I think at the start of the game, though, I will say, like, I think the Bears are going to go off to a fast start, but I think it's ultimately going to be Aaron Rodgers just taking over the game, and I don't think it'll be that close.
Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Right and then you got your Monday night doubleheader. Titans, Bills. The Titans have had the Bills number recently, I will say. I mean, you talk about Derrick Henry literally throwing, I believe it was Josh Norman 2 years ago on a Tuesday night game during COVID. And then you had last year in the Monday night thriller that happened when Josh Allen couldn't even get like 4th and inches at like the 5-yard line. So you had two classics for many different reasons. But I think it's a different scenario this way. I got the Bills winning this one. 7-15 on ESPN. What do you got?
Yeah, I got the Bills as well. Obviously, the Titans have had their number, like you said. The Bills are just too good to me. And being at Buffalo, Josh Allen is going to continue his streak of really good football. That dude's a beast. I won't even lie. I enjoy watching him play. I got the Bills in this one as well.
Definitely agree with that. Josh Allen, one of the most dominant players in football, especially at that quarterback position. And then here we go. The last one, Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles. Both pairs of 1-0 teams look very impressive in their debuts last week. 8:30 game, ABC, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call. That's weird calling them with Monday Night Football. But I'm going to go with the Eagles in this. I think Monday night Kirk Cousins comes out. You just can't play on Monday Night Football. But I think it will be a close game. I got looking in that 3 or 4 point range. But I do have the Eagles ultimately coming out on top. I think it will be a very, very good showdown. I'll be flipping back and forth between them and the Titans and the Bills, but I think my attention will really be focused on this game.
Yeah, I actually think I'm going to go with the Vikings here. I think Kirk Cousins has a better game than usual. I do think Philadelphia is a good team, but I think the Vikings offense just looked really, really good against the Packers, and it looked like the play calling was better than it had been. Yep. And I just think this is a high scoring game as well. I would take the over. I think I would say it's going to come down to a game-winning field goal.
Definitely
Vikings.
see that. All right. And that over under is 50.5, by the way. I would take the over as well. I think, like you said, Minnesota's offense, I mean, they completely changed that whole thing around with Kevin O'Connell. They they looked really good last week, especially on the Green Bay defense that a lot of people have high expectations for. So could definitely see that happening. I just think Jalen Hurts is going to turn the ball over a whole lot against that Vikings defense. I think they're going to be cool. I think A.J. Brown's going to have another decent night for sure. I mean, he had 10 for 155 last week, so he had a really, really, really good week. But I think he'll have a decent night. I think they're going to try to get Miles Sanders involved. 13 for 96 and a touchdown last week in Detroit. So I think they're really going to try to run the football. That was their key to success last year to get them to the playoffs. So I think they're going to roll with that. And I got the Eagles winning a close one, though. I will say. But man, NFL Week 2. Man, I can't wait for this. This will be a fun week. Maybe not as fun as week 1, obviously, with the anticipation that we had building around for the first, first NFL games, first football games in 7 months. But, just another weekend with football, to say the least. We had fun last night. We got fun today. And, I'm Chase Yance. That's Brady King. We'll see you guys Tuesday. We see our reactions.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
Yep. See ya.